COVID infection came close to taking the life of a Valley law enforcement officer. He faces a long road to recovery, both with his health and also the financial cost. Channel 5's Kristen Von Pricey reports.
At 45 years old, Deputy Constable Antonio Huizar Jr. kept working when COVID struck. Like many in his line of work, an oath to the public meant a duty to keep working, even as the job became more dangerous.
Whenever we pick up that phone and call him, we know that he's going to be here for us.
Huizar has been in a fight for his life. His return home doesn't mark the end. After a long ordeal, it started with feeling symptoms on the job.
He started with really high fevers, and he called me and he told me, you know what, I'm not feeling well.
He ended up going to the hospital because he was having difficulty breathing, and he ended up staying there for 2.5 months.
His sister Maricela Barrientos, a Brownsville police officer, says her brother tried to stay home, hitting a fever of 104. Without insurance, he was worried about the bills. His sister helped him out, got him to a doctor and then into an ER after he deteriorated back home.
And I told him, brother, I said, you're not doing well. He couldn't talk anymore by that time.
Huizar would return to the hospital where doctors recommended life support. Barrientos says her brother was afraid and refused at first. But eventually, the doctors had to.
He was already in distress. He couldn't breathe, and they had him on a BiPAP mask.
Like many family have been through this, the only way of seeing each other was through a call on FaceTime.
That was very emotional to see the way that he was.
Huizar spent 20 days on life support, still hitting fevers. Barrientos telling doctors she wanted to keep trying to save her brother. He came out of life support only to emerge with a sepsis infection, which sent him to San Antonio for higher care.
And so I would talk to him every time that I could. I would talk to him even though he was sedated, and I would tell him, brother, you fight for your life.
Finally, on Tuesday, his return back home following 10+ weeks of illness. A family of police welcoming him back, but the struggle still continues. Without health insurance, physical therapy will be a problem.
So at this point, he's been released. He is in need of a lot of rehab, and he is not walking. He's still very weak. He lost all his muscle. He's been in bed basically for 2 months.
First responder groups are helping gather what they can to help Huizar move forward.
It's all, the brotherhood, and we're going to support him and any other officers that unfortunately get this virus.
For an officer who worked during a time the job became more dangerous, his family and friends hoping he recovers. Kristen Von Pricey, Channel 5 News.